Hey there, my friends. How's your week going? Well, you know what? I hope you came by today. Kick back, relax, and give me a moment of your time so I might be able to lift your spirits a bit. Because today is the Friday Pick-Me. Oh yeah. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome again to another Friday Pick-Me-Up. My name is Frank Lowe, and I'm with Quality Works Graphics and Illustration. What is the Friday Pick-Me-Up, you might ask? Well, you know what? I like to explain it as an extension of kindness coming from me to you, but hoping that I would get that kindness returned to me from you. And there's a couple of things that I actually want to make this into. Okay, this is a forum that's not your typical little study thing that you could find, because those are a dime a dozen. Okay, everyone's out there trying to do their own little video, saying the same things that are parroted from the pulpit. Okay, and those things are parroted from wherever they got it and systemized to be repeated over and over again from everyone under that logo design. Okay, so I'm trying to break away from that, and I'm trying to just be a truth seeker, and I'm trying to provoke that in everyone. So what I would desire, and what I hope your desire is too, is that we come together after seeking out truth on our own, and we present those things. And in this forum, we all talk about it, and get those truths from different perspectives, so we can get a fuller understanding of God's truth. And I think that would be incredible, and it would be awesome for our growth. But all the while we do this, okay, I'd like to present it in a positive manner, that we would have something to lift our spirits, something to encourage us. And there are so many negative things out there that are constantly weighing on us and picking at us, that I believe that it's a good idea to have something at least like this that we might be able to turn to, refer to, when we need a pick-me-up. I know it's new every Friday, but I'm not taking them down. They're there all the time, so you can go back as many times as you like. So anyway, that to me is what the Friday Pick-Me-Up is, and I hope it sounds good to you, and that I can count on your participation, because you're important and you have a lot of good news and very important answers that I need to get. So let's share together. All right, so that covers that. Next up, I'm going to put something up that speaks a little bit about what I do for a living. And then after that, we're going to get into the questions and answers for the week. Okay, so stick around. It's going to be really good. Hi, my name is Frank Lowe, and I'm the art director and owner of Quality Works Graphic Design and Illustration. I just want to take a second to thank you for stopping by. Please take a minute to see the many ways that Quality Works can assist you. I know that you'll feel more at ease about moving forward with your business, organization, or personal graphic needs. Whether it's your children's manuscript that needs illustrating, or wanting to put your best foot forward in a competitive market, Quality Works will make it easy. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, and it may seem a bit overwhelming. At Quality Works, we'll help you every step of the way, taking that guesswork out of this exciting and truly important venture. And we won't stop until you're completely satisfied with your new professional look, or you have a book in your hand ready for publication. Thanks so much, and I look forward to speaking with you very soon. Hey you guys, welcome back. Now you know a little bit more about what I do for a living, and if I can help you with anything, please let me know, okay? Well, let's move on to the next portion of this episode, which is the question and answer for the week. And this question comes from Latisha Navarro. Thank you, Latisha. Her question is, can a true Christian suffer from depression? And you know what? That's a very, very good and very important question. Because, see, there's a lot of teachers from churches that will teach that if your faith isn't good enough, then you end up in depression. Okay, and that depression is a vice of the enemy, and somehow that is what's gripping your life and causing you to be, down in the dumps and stuff. Okay, and I gotta tell you, it's bullcorn. Okay, depression is something that many people suffer with. Okay, and it has nothing to do with faith. The Bible in itself deals with depression, okay? Indirectly, though, okay? The Bible itself, what is it written for? Out of love, right? And we start off in the New Testament with what? The gospel, the good news. Why do we need good news? So we're not down in the dumps, right? Okay? And then the Bible continues on talking to us about, though we have our nature, and though we have all these things we suffer with, we also have Jesus, the one and only God, Son of God, sent for us, that we would be delivered from these things. Okay? Where we were once, if we were guilty of one sin, we were guilty of them all. Now it's because we're in this relationship, we received Jesus into our hearts, and now we have this relationship. Now we're delivered from every single one of them, even if we fall. Okay? So now we're not guilty of any of them anymore. We're delivered from them all. We're justified, which means just as if we didn't do it. Okay? So the Bible just within itself is something that deals with depression. Okay? If we're reading it and getting into it, it could really help. But see, depression is also something that can be just something that's in us, that happens, and it doesn't affect our faith. I mean, I'm going to read to you some things here, okay? The Bible doesn't speak of depression directly, but it does speak of terms that kind of shadow it, okay? And these are the terms that throughout the Bible is used, okay? Downcast, sad, discouraged, downhearted, mourning, troubled, miserable, desperate, despairing, brokenhearted. Okay, these are all terms that are used throughout the Bible to describe people who are really, really down. But even those don't really cover it directly. I mean, it's not necessarily because of these things that we can have depression. Sometimes it's just something that needs to be dealt with medicine or with proper assistance, okay? And it's nothing that we can just say, you know what, I'm going to fix this. Sometimes it takes effort, and it takes the right medical assistance, and these are the things that need to be done, okay? And I know of pastors that have spoke from the pulpit saying, if you don't have the right faith, then these are things that will, with the right faith, you can break any habit that you're in. Any substance abuse you can drop just like that, smoking, whatever, alcoholism, all these things. If you have the faith, you can drop these things. And you know what? It's a lie, okay? We need assistance sometimes. God's provision isn't just giving us his faith. He provides for us, okay? It reminds me of this joke that I heard a million years ago, and I'm sure you've all heard it too, but I'm going to say it anyway. This one guy, his whole town gets flooded, right? And he ends up on his roof, and he's praying to God, and he's saying, God, help me out of here, man, help me out, And this guy in a rowboat comes by and says, hey, jump in my boat, man, let's get out of here. Your house is going to be underwater pretty soon. And the guy's all, no, I'm praying to God, and I'm praying that he gives me a way out of this. And the guy says, okay, see ya, and he bails. And then another person comes by, and it's in a helicopter, and he drops a rope down. Jump on the rope, and I'll pull you up to safety. And he goes, no, I'm praying to God. He's going to deliver me from this. So he splits, and finally the water rises up, drowns the guy, and he goes into heaven. He goes over to God and goes, hey, what's the deal? I was praying, and why didn't this work out? He said, what are you talking about? I sent you a boat, and I sent you a helicopter. Thank you. I'm going for the applause. So anyway, that's faith, okay? But faith not in the conventional way. From the pulpit, I've heard pastors speaking, no, you don't need all these doctors. You don't need all these medical things. And you don't need medicine and stuff like that. So you don't need all these vices. You don't need these things. All you need is faith. And you know what? It's wrong. God provides all of these things too. If it's there and it's available to you, that's provision. and we got to utilize those things that God brings to us, So anyway, more on the topic too, talking about faith. All right, let's do some name dropping here, okay? Because I have some names written down here of throughout the Bible. They have suffered with depression, and I'm thinking King Solomon. When the Spirit of God passed from him to David, I mean, that was some heavy stuff, man. He wept, heart-wrenching, tears, because it was just so saddening to him that it broke him, And then speaking of broken, there's Job. I mean, Job had it hardcore, man. He was depressed. He was down, so down that the Bible explains him as just being in this alleyway with a stick to scratch his sores and a dog licking his wounds. I mean, man, And even when he asked God, what was this for? He says, because I am enough for you. Just me alone, without anything in this world. It's all you need from this world, which is a heavy lesson for us within this one, okay? But more on that later. And the one that King David, I love that guy, man. I love him. He's so awesome. 1 Samuel, all through it, okay, talking about David, okay? David, you want to talk about a man of faith, okay? When an entire army, Samuel's army, Solomon, sorry, they went up against Goliath, okay? And he said, send me out your strongest and I'll knock him down and all this stuff. And he's all, yeah, come on. And David's looking at this entire army cowering away from him and going, you go, no, you go, And David's all, what is up, man? God didn't set this up for us to fail. He was a little puny dude. He was a shepherd boy, okay? And he says, dude, you guys are embarrassing. And he picks up his little slingshot and goes out there and shoves a rock in this dude's forehead and drops him like a sack of bricks. And he says, because God doesn't take us any place unless he's going to provide us the whole distance, man. That's faith, right? But yet here he is in 1 Samuel 30, verses 3 and 4. And I'm going to read it to you, okay? 3 and 4. And it says, so David and his men came to the city, and there it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters had been taken captive. Yikes. Then David and the people who were in him lifted up their voices and wept until they had no more power to weep. They were weak and just broken. Every single thing that they cared about so much was taken from them. And they had the faith. This was an army. They were moving in the Spirit of God. They were taking on people without even moving at them. God was just taking them out and then playing a trumpet and stuff. It was, I may have taken that out wrong, but anyway, check it out and tell me. Anyway, David was kicking butt, okay, and he was moving in faith, but yet he still had depression, okay. It has nothing to do with faith, okay? It's something that we just have to deal with. And I do know this too, medically, looking into it through a medical perspective, when we are frustrated about things that may not be going our way, okay, and we become angry, and we're angry for a period of time, anger turned inward becomes depression because we feel a hopelessness towards it, okay? And in that, we need to learn to give it over to faith and realize, okay, fine. There's nothing I can do about it, but I know God can do everything with whatever it is that's happening in my life, okay? And in that perspective, we can work on our faith. There's always room to grow, okay? But my point is that it can be a balance, but I don't believe that depression is something that's just for the weak-minded or the non-believer. I believe that we can all be in a position to where life takes us to a point where we're very, very broken. And until we learn those lessons and God gets us out of those things, we suffer with it, and we have to deal with it. But when we are there, we have to make sure that we give it over to the right person, which is God, and realize that life is not a series of rights and wrongs, but no matter where we're at in this life, it's a lesson. Okay, and today's hardest perspective of the day, whatever it is that's challenging us and trying to break us, and even if we get broken, it's those lessons that did that to us today that will make us stand strong tomorrow. Okay, so keeping things in God's perspective, in His biblical perspective, and because, as always, we know the scriptures support scripture. Even in the negative, we have to know that there's a reason for it. If God is seeing it necessary to put us in a place to where it breaks us, we also have to realize too that even a broken bone, wherever it was broken, when it mends, it becomes the strongest part of that bone. If we are broken by God, when we are mended, we will be way stronger than we ever were. Okay? God doesn't just get us through today and say, whatever tomorrow brings, let it bring. God prepares us for our entire future. When He says, I'm going to get you from here to there, He means He's going to get us through the moment we came into this life to the moment we see Him and look into His eyes, and He says to us, well done, good and faithful servant. So a big lesson to us is embracing His yeses and His nos, and treating them the same. Okay, we love His yeses because it's like, yeah, all right, I get it, but we kick up some pretty serious dust, man, when it comes to His no, and that's not a good thing. God will keep us from things that will harm us, and He will give us things that won't. So anyway, I know I have a lot to say about this question. Depression, man. Don't believe the guys at the pulpit that tell you that it's a lack of faith that causes this. They're lying. They don't know. Okay? It is just something that we have to deal with as people, as we grow, and as we learn about God, and as we learn about His yeses and nos being a positive to us. Okay? Because sometimes when we get a no, we believe wholeheartedly that it should have been a yes. And God says no. You just don't understand. It would have gotten you later. But anyway, that's development. That's growing. Anyway, well, I hope that's an effective answer to you guys. If you have more to add to it, please do. The comments down below. I look towards you guys for input. I need to hear what you have to say. You're very important to me. The things you think and say are important too. So, and I want that. I want that fullness, man. I know what God has shown me so far, but what has He shown to you? What more can you add that we would all grow in a broader perspective of this knowledge? Let's always be truth seekers and let's share. Okay? I really need it from you. I depend on you. Okay. Well, that's that. And the next portion to come up is the verse of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and post that up. And I will talk with you guys next week. So the verse is coming up right now. And then right after that, we're going to dive into that truth as well. Okay? See you in a bit. Our scripture reading this week comes from the Book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 18. And it reads, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Hey there. You made it back. Great. All right. Well, Proverbs chapter 16. That chapter is huge. Okay. Proverbs is really cool. Okay. The more you dig into this book, literally, I mean, they say it about the Bible itself, but man, Proverbs, will shell out info to you. The more effort you put into it, the more it'll give. Okay, and chapter 16 is definitely one of those chapters. I can't read even just a verse without stopping to have to go through it and start deciphering all of the different lessons that are in that one verse. It's amazing. There was a time, and I also suggest this though to you as well, using Proverbs as a morning devotional. You know, the 31 days of the month, and there's 31 chapters in it, so it works out really well. And breezing over it, you can get some really good stuff, and that aligns you with God for the day, and it's really cool. But where I'm at this week is Proverbs 16, verse 18. Okay, and this says, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before the fall." Haughty meaning a proud person. Somebody who puts on airs about who they are and what they are because they don't need anybody else's help, right? These are the people that are in bad shape, and they will find themselves doing a swan dive, like it says, all the way down to the fall, okay? When we read this, first thing that we think as Christians is to those who say no to God, right? And so we say, oh my gosh, in pride before the fall, you think that you're okay on your own, but you're not. You need to have God. And that being true, this still doesn't just pertain to the non-believer, okay? This is also speaking to the believer. I mean, when God tells us to not forsake the gathering of the saints, for us to gather and get together and hold each other up and pray and all this stuff, that's the whole point of church, you know, man making these buildings and saying, hey, everyone do it. It's easier for us to just gather in this place we've established for you, okay? And the whole point of church is that we would go before someone who has rightly divided the word of truth, and we sit and listen to that person who is delivering that message to us, who's faithful to just deliver God's message, and we're there in a group of people that is small enough for accountability, and that we can share those things that are happening with us, and that we could utilize one another and to have prayer and accountability and all these things, because let's face it, we're all just as strong as our weakest link, right? So anyway, but church nowadays has been made into more of a business, and a family business, I might add, which is very bad, you know, it's just really, really bad. But on top of that, everyone's going for these super churches, okay? So they could be a movie star for God, and they want to have all their little trips that put them forward. So they call people to themselves, and they're saying, "I'm becoming famous for God," and you know, no, man, you're doing it because you have a lifestyle you need to support. You have a $3 million building you have to make payments on, and start working on your $4 million building and stuff like that. So their interests have changed. There needs to be a head count and stuff. So there's all this. So what happens to the body when this happens? Okay, well, in a church of a gazillion people, how likely is it that you're going to see the same person again? You know, you see them once and you tell them your troubles and they're gone and you never see them again. You don't even know if they're still going there, you know? And so that stinks, okay? And then on that too, everyone that gets there starts to realize, you know what, I don't want to be the low man on a totem pole. You know, so somebody says, hey, how you doing? They're, hey, I'm fine, man. Why? What'd you hear? You know, I'm cool. Don't worry about me. Go to someone else. You know, and it's like, wow. So no matter what's going on in your life, you're going to tell everyone that you're doing fine because you don't want to be seen as the weak Christian, the one without the faith. You know, well, there goes that. What else is there? Praying? Everyone wants to pray. Everyone wants to be the one who prays for the other. No, hey, don't pray for me. I'm praying for you. Oh, no, you don't. You prayed last time. You know, why? Because they want to be seen. They want people to see them praying for the other people. And now everyone's bucking for a promotion. You know, there's those who have been there for a while and they say, you know what? I should be a teacher because I know enough of the word now, and I want people to see, or those struggling tooth and nail to just be the one gathering the offering so they can be seen. Yeah. Hey, yes, they have me serving. It's because of, my holiness. I'm holy now, So everyone's doing all this stuff to be seen and to do all this stuff, and they're trampling underfoot the entire purpose of church, and it's making everyone proud. The new believer doesn't want to be the new believer anymore, so he's going to start faking like he knows verses, and until he, studies up. And now, hey, I've gone to churches before to where I was new, and I had a mob on me, and everyone wanted to save me, until I told them I've been saved longer than I haven't been for a good, 20 years or so, and I'm good, thanks. And I tried to say something else after that, and they all left. They didn't even stay to talk to me or find out my name. That's them trying to get names under their belts. I saved that. I saved them too. Look at me. Look at me. I'm going to be a teacher now, so I can get up there and talk about, stuff that I barely know, because I want to be a teacher now. It's just time. Everyone's struggling to do all these things. No one wants to go in there and say, my wife's cheating on me, or I have been stumbling with another person, or whatever sins may be in their lives. I struggle with the love of money. I'm in fear that I'm not going to have enough, and I have all these things, and I just crave more. And someone please pray for me that I could be happy and have peace in what has been provided for me. No one wants to say that. No one wants to say I'm a sinful person that needs your prayer, because now they're the weak link and everyone else is going to devour them. So church is becoming obsolete because of what man is making it turn into. So where is the pride? It's in everyone that says, I don't need your prayer, I'm good, when they do. They upright lie. They just straight up lie, so they don't look bad to other people, when it could have been God who sent that person to them to pray for them. And now they're turning away God's assistance, And the thing of it is too, is these are the same people that are at home crying, weeping to God, saying, God, help me, I don't know where I'm going to turn. But yet they're all, everything's good here. Do you need some prayer, brother? Because I don't. You can have my prayers. I don't need them. That's a joke, man. And everyone, right now I hold church in my house. I hold church for my surrounding friends and neighbors, and for my family and myself. And we get into the Word. We pray to God. We sing to Him. We do all we need to align ourselves that we would be taught by Him. And in those things too, I also gather them up. I have this moment with you so that I can put myself out there, let you know what I'm learning as I'm being taught to. So you, as my accountability, can say, you know what, I heard what you were saying here. And you know what do you think about my thoughts on this perspective, and broadening me, or letting me know I'm wrong. I have myself, I have my accountability, and I have those that I learn with, and I have my time with God and with my family. But I don't believe in these churches anymore. I've seen what they've become. I've been behind their magic curtain, and I've seen how they're ran, and it made me run. Okay, so anyway, I'm not downplaying all churches. I don't know the hearts of every single person out there, and I don't know how every church is ran. All I know is the ones I've been to, and they have really discouraged me. So I just seek out God's truth, and I just want to learn of Him. I just want my relationship with Him and myself to grow. I don't have a problem with telling you I need prayer, okay? I do, all the time. And if you're not praying for me, please pray. I'm praying for you guys too. It's not something that we have to be aching for before we ask somebody to do it. I want God's protection every single day, even when I'm feeling great. So please don't ever stop. I won't stop with you. Okay? This is important. Dropping these acts, being real. The enemy has made everyone that way. And the enemy is the author of religion. Okay? He has instilled this poison. Okay? God says in his written word, just a little bit of sin spoils it all. The little leaven spoils the whole lump. And it does, man. You put that pride in church, and it spreads, man, like a disease. And everybody jumps on it. Especially those who are trying to become teachers. And they're being eyeballed by the pastor, and he's scrutinizing them from his throne, and it's just like, it's bad. It gets really bad, and so keep it. I'd rather just serve God. I'd rather just grow in my relationship with Him. I don't need my relationship with Him being scrutinized by everybody and their brother and being dragged all out and all that stuff, and everyone's opinions being given when God's already given me His, and people giving opinions on moments of someone's life, when in order to give a good one, you have to know his entire life, so anyway, being prideful and being so-called self-contained and keeping all of your burdens to yourself when you're supposed to be being held accountable by carrying people, you've got nothing but a fall to look towards if you don't get past that junk and get back into the fact that church is to be a place of learning fluently. It's a place to where we do bring our burdens and we share them with brothers and sisters who we know we can count on, who are going to stay around us, stick around and not disappear, and that's the real stuff, man. That's church. If you can't get that, then you're in the wrong place. I guarantee it. Forget these super churches, man. It's no good. Go to a concert and look at the people that are sitting by you at that concert, and then try and sit by them again, without planning it and phoning them and making sure you guys all buy your tickets at the same time. Try and sit by them just by chance again, or even go to the same concert knowing they're going and find them. Okay? It's the same thing as going to these super churches. You're not going to get accountability there. So anyway, I've bagged on this stuff enough. As you can tell, I really don't care much for it. I don't think there needs to be a gazillion people packed into one church when they can break things up and they beget one another. So let's beget. Let's get a few guys more to handle some churches and stuff, space them out to where everything is even, man. You don't need 1 million people in your church. I know what it's for. It's so you can afford that church, that massive thing. And so you can have your radio shows. And so you can have your coffee shop. And so you can have your book come out. And so you can have your bookstore to sell your book. It's a joke, man. It's just business. It's not necessary. So watch yourselves, people. Don't let it happen to you. Keep yourself in a small group. Make sure that they're caring people, not gossipers. Make sure they're people that love you, care about you, will continue to pray for them, and be willing to do that too. Never ask of another person something in a relationship you're not willing to give yourself. Okay? Always be willing to do those things too. That should be a given. Okay? And let these things be the things that sustain you. Knowing that if you go down, you don't stay down long, man, because you got those who love you, that care about you. And I'm saying it doesn't even matter if you're going to a super church or one of these big churches and stuff, then gather those people, get their phone numbers, have them on speed dial, but lose the pride, okay? You gotta know that that's poison to a Christian. Pride is the perfect tool of the enemy to get us off on our own, by ourselves, so the enemy can pounce. And that's not what you want, okay? You don't want that. And those who love you don't want to see it either, okay? So anyway, that's my lesson for today. That's the verse. That's the thing I was reading over. I know it's kind of like an open wound on me because, like I said, these are things I go through throughout the week. And so it's still kind of fresh with me, and I'm sharing it with you. But, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Let's not let this happen. It's unnecessary, especially when God has paid the way for us to be reconciled into His kingdom and to be justified of our sins. We don't need to pick another way for us to go down and be destroyed by the enemy. Okay? It's a lie that we speak. It's not being said to us. We say it on behalf of ourselves. We lie. And it stinks. It's really bad. So anyway, that's my input on that verse. Please, if you have anything to share, as always, I encourage you in the comments section. And that's the pick me up for this week as well. So I really enjoy my times with you guys. I like talking with you. I like sharing these things with you. And I hope the encouragement portion of this episode was that it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You don't have to be prideful, and you don't have to hide those things, okay? If God sees it, He knows what you're thinking. He knows what you're going through. And if He's the one that's already seen it, it doesn't matter if other people know, And especially if He's sending those people to you to help you, then it really starts to matter. So don't let that happen, all right? I hope that's my encouragement to you. Be who you are, wherever you're at. Get real with where your walk is. Start walking for real. Start seeking after truth. And be a truth seeker like the rest of us that are here. Okay? Anyway, that's it for this week. I will see you next week. God bless you guys. And I will see you very soon. All right? Keep coming back. I'll be here. All right? See you next time. Well, my friends, that concludes another visit for the Friday Pick Me Up. I hope it was encouraging for you as it was for me. And if you like what you see here, be sure to click on that subscribe button below and click the like. And most of all, be sure to comment below too. Let me know those things that have encouraged you throughout your week. And if there's prayer you need, put that in there so we can all read it and lift you up. And if you need to talk with me or you have questions that you would like answers for too, go ahead and post those things so we can all talk about it and discuss these things and get answers to our questions. Okay? Well, as always, I say congratulations for making it through another week. It is Friday, so go out, spread some sunshine and some smiles, and I hope that you get a few smiles yourself, okay? Be sure to take care of yourself, all right? As I say every week, too, you're not just taking care of you. You're taking care of someone others love and care about very much, and that includes me, all right? God bless you. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week, all right? Peace.